Like Riley Reid?
I'm going to punch a baby.
Like Ron Burgundy?
Whatever. I don't care. Just going to punch a baby, man.
Some babies, I think, deserve to be punched.
Of course.
They're just assholes.
Not some. I think a lot of babies.
I think they're just aiming for your mouth when they piss. Some of them, they wait for you to be holding them to throw up. They know what they're doing.
Yeah.
They're just assholes.
I agree.
They deserve
a punch.
But just a little fucking...
It's kind of like a victimless crime, though, if you think about it realistically.
Yeah.
Like a baby, it's not going to remember anyway.
Yeah.
It can't tell anybody, oh, you hit me. So you're not going to get in trouble, right? It might just feel like some real, deep down sad feelings inside when it sees you its whole life. It'd be like, oh.
Depending on when you think abortion is okay, it's not even a human being.
Up to 3. I think up to 3 years old.
Up to 3 years old?
Up to 3 years old, you should be able to abort it.
I might push it to 7.
Think about okay, actually, no, let's be real. Maybe up to 3 months.
Yeah.
Because think about it. If you buy anything big, you kind of have a 90-day sort of grace period to be like, no, I don't really like this.
That's true.
You could do that with your baby too.
That's 3 months after being born.
Right. Just be like, you don't know if it's inside you if you're going to like it or not.
Yeah.
You got to kind of have it outside and see if it's an asshole first.
That's right. Oh, man. This stream thing completely messes with the entire keeping track here of the time.
What's it? Oh.
To make notes.
Oh. Womp womp.
So maybe that'll be a dud for this week. I'll just use
last
week.
Listen, this
week... It took
week...
me all week to figure out how to do it properly.
We're just going to talk shit this week. And next week, hopefully, I have a nice new laptop.
That works.
That will work.
If we're lucky.
Yeah, I'll buy something. I'm probably not going to order it off Dell.
You can probably just go to the store.
I know, but you pay a lot more.
Not always.
Yeah.
If you go online, you can...
There's another... Look, start out another one.
You might also have sales this weekend. Long weekend. There might be something to look into. But anyway, that's aside from the point. That's a good... We can talk... I want to talk about the abortion stuff. You've been following the abortion stuff at all?
Yeah, the Roe v. Wade thing.
Yeah, talking about getting rid of it.
Yeah.
And the left is losing their mind.
Yeah.
And this has had me thinking a lot. So we've talked about this before, and I think we both kind of agree. It should be legal, but it's not it's a bad thing to be doing, especially when you're using it as a form of birth control.
Yeah, no, I agree.
It's an evil thing to do.
It's a shitty thing to do, but I want you to have the right to do it.
Yeah, as a libertarian, I want you to do what you want, and if that way I know if you're an asshole. But it's having me think because first off, there's a very, very, very extremely valid argument coming from the right where it's look, we were okay with this under the context of safe, legal, and rare. And then you expanded it to now it's just you get an abortion, you go to the store to buy a condom, and you they are pushing for post-birth abortions, not even just late-term abortions are bad enough. They're no, yeah, after the baby is born, after the baby is viable, they're willing to get rid of it, which is just that's just killing.
That's
the baby.
Just murder.
That's just straight up kill. There's no arguing that's not just killing the baby at that point.
That's straight up murder. Once it's out of your body, it's no longer your problem.
You can't even argue that.
I mean, it's technically your problem, but I mean, it's not your somebody can take care of it. I understand if it's in your body and you have to carry it to a certain term or something and you want to get rid of it. That's in your body. It's whatever. But once it's out of your body, now you're going to abort it. What? No, just give it. But we should have a system that says, okay, no, all right. Look, if you do that though, if you give up a baby, you should lose your right to have babies.
Yeah, you gave up the baby. Well, have babies.
I don't know. I think if so now I don't want to have this baby now at this time, and I take it to term, and somebody else has to take care of that baby, whether they want to or not.
Hopefully they want to.
Well, yeah.
That's the best case scenario.
Exactly. But now I just feel like you should forfeit your ability to have babies now at that point.
Yeah, maybe.
You know what I mean? What's to say you just couldn't do that all the time and just decide, oh no, that's enough. I've had enough of this one. I'm just going to give this up. You've kind of proven to. The problem is that you can have a baby so fucking early. Like a kid can have a baby.
Well, that's why the old school thing is like fucking be careful. Like women don't just give it up so easily.
Yeah, but
use protection.
You can't stop that. People are gonna do stupid shit, right? But especially kids are gonna do stupid shit. It's so weird, right? Because
but that's the same thing as the argument with culturally enforced monogamy that Jordan Peterson talks about, right? And they obviously they fucking misrepresent it, but it's like, no, as a culture, you say like, hey, this is like sort of what you should be doing, and this is what to be aspired to, and like this is good and this is bad, and then you have this cultural push that people are going to go the other way. But when you have a cultural push, that's
people will hold to it.
You get more people who are going to hold it, and you get less of it. And so I think if you have it like this way, like, hey, maybe be a little bit less promiscuous or more reserved, or focus on these other things, or hey, use protection.
Protection is a fucking drag, buddy. Condoms are for sailors, baby.
At least you're safe, right? Yeah. Or you could do other things like IUDs, right? But anyway, the cultural angle of things, I think, is better. Instead of just being like, no, just do what you want, just fucking just fuck like rabbits, and there's no consequences. Like, yeah, you know what? No, maybe there are consequences, and we should be very clear and open about the consequences, and so you could maybe make more informed decisions. We got Gizzo here. Good evening.
Good evening, Gizzo.
He said evening, gentlemen. I feel like we have to be a proper good evening.
Good evening,
good stuff. But the angle that I wanted to take about the abortion is not so much an argument about abortion, whether it's right or wrong, whether you should do it or shouldn't do it. I was thinking, like, we have such a strict cultural divide about this particular issue. We have other issues, but this one is like where people
draw hard lines.
And I think those hard lines are just unmovable because you just have different moralities at play. Mm-hmm. It's like it's kind of like there are certain things you can't get a Christian and a Muslim to agree on. Mm-hmm. Right? And you just, no matter what you do, you're not going to get them to agree. And you might, depending on how seriously they take their faith, you might not even be able to get them to live peacefully near each other, right?
Yeah.
But so what have we, like, I've kind of talked about this before, but it's like, why can't we just, you have the United States, you got 50 states, just make those states operate significantly more like independent nations where they can decide on a state-by-state basis, right? You have the federal government that has that sort of deals with national defense, and it deals with major things. Like, there will be hard lines on, like, murder and rape and stuff like that, right? But very limited what the federal government does. And then you have the states decide everything else. And then that way we can have, like, okay, are you pro-abortion? Okay, you can go to the states that are pro-abortion.
That's the way.
Are you anti-abortion?
It's kind of designed to. It's supposed to be that way.
It's supposed to be, but it's
been perverted.
Dragged
it's been
far
perverted, right?
away from that, right?
Yeah.
It's like that should be our cultural. Gizzo said Muslims and Christians will never agree on legal age. And yes, I agree with that. Well, I think Muhammad was like, you married a 6-year-old, actually, didn't you? She was 6?
I don't know.
When they got married.
I can't say anything about Muhammad.
I think she was 6. But I think they say it's okay because he didn't have sex with her till she was 12.
Oh, that's the, yeah.
Yeah, it's a messed up thing.
No, it's good, man. 12? Why do you wait so long?
Yeah, I know, right?
They get hot at 10.
Listen. In Muhammad's days, right?
Yeah.
You lived to like 22.
That's true. You got to get your fuck on. You really got.
That's middle age. That's a middle age. But yeah, so like, what if you just had the states deal with that stuff, and so people can, and then it'd be much more like corporations, right? So you would have this state that runs their state this way, in X way, whatever X way is. They will they will either do well or they'll do poorly, and they'll do well in some things maybe,
you're
and they'll
seeing
do
that.
poorly in other things.
You are seeing that somewhat. Like look at like Florida,
but
versus...
people aren't conceptualizing it.
Yeah.
And I think people need to be thinking about it more that way. People should be thinking more in. It should definitely be more extreme of a difference than it is now, because you're right, it is a bit of a difference. Like Florida did better in the way that they handled COVID than say New York. But people aren't necessarily thinking about it in the terms of like, let's just move to like, let's compartmentalize based on our ideals and our ideologies, right? So like, instead of forcing people to live under rules that they just don't agree with, it's like, okay, well, if you're completely against drugs, you can go to the state that's completely against drugs.
Yeah.
And you could live there and be with other people that agree with you.
It sounds easy when you say that, though, but it's like, so what do you do if somebody's working in a state, they start working in a state, and then the politics change, and they've been at a job, or or they own a business or something like that. Now the politics change in that state. It falls
down to how seriously do you take these beliefs?
Yeah,
right?
I know. Like some when people, you say it, sounds great.
Some people can live with it, right? And other people can't. But I think now more than ever, it's easy to get up and move, just because.
Yeah, you say that. It's easy to say that. It's easy
5
to
years
say
ago,
that too.
It was easier to do that.
It's really hard for people to uproot, right? You've got all kinds of things that root you. There's family, there's school, there's work, there's all kinds of things that root people, right? So it's the problem is now that we have this.
Yeah, but at the same time, you do have lots of migration.
The
so
problem
you might have
is
people that find themselves.
No, you know what? The real problem is, I think this is my opinion anyway. The real problem is this fucking crazy new push on politics. Like everything's political. And then on top of that,
Marxist thing.
Yeah, and then on top of that, you've got the weakest and the worst people running shit. Yeah. And without like, so if you look at look at like Congress and shit like that, where there's no term limits, you get the weakest and the worst people running it for fucking decades.
Yeah.
Only because they're the known name. So it's like someone like Nancy Pelosi.
Oh, I recognize
people know who the fuck Nancy Pelosi is, right?
That's what. Yeah.
I'm going to vote for her.
Yeah, I have a couple things to say about that. Like, I think one thing too, we should be a lot stricter on who we let vote. It shouldn't just be you inherently can vote. I think you should maybe have to earn it, or do something to show that you care enough.
Like getting a driver's license, even. Like you have to show competency, right? You have to show
I don't agree with competency to vote.
I think so.
I don't. I wouldn't.
If you don't have competency, then you're just going to vote for anybody, and then your vote counts.
Who decides what the competency is?
Well,
right? And who decides who's competent, who isn't? And so that's why I would argue for more of a service guaranteed citizenship kind of approach, where you have non-citizens and citizens. The only difference is citizens can vote, non-citizens cannot vote. How do you get citizenship? You do 2 years of service.
Well,
you do 2 years of service.
Other countries do that.
Yeah, but
they do that, like Israel and shit. Like that.
It's not exactly the same. Israel does have mandatory military service, but it doesn't have to be military service. I'm talking just like
I get what
there
you're
are jobs
saying. I know
that
what you mean.
Need to be
like
done,
public service, all kinds of
stuff.
So
you do for like half of minimum wage, a service wage. We decide a service wage. You have to put in 40 hours a week for 2 years. Right, if you could take time off, but it extends the amount of time it takes, and you get holidays and everything. Right. We're not going to be fucking stupid about it. You do this job that is necessary, that we need people to do. You do it for 2 years, and it would be with people staying at home longer.
That would work really well for you when you were a kid because you had a good home life. What about me? I didn't have a home life. I had to work right away. I had to fucking earn money just to eat food. When I was a teen. I was like 13, 14, 15, and I had to earn money to just so I could feed myself and clothe myself. So you imagine me, like I would have to been some kind of system where they housed me essentially. And then
I have actually thought about that, like having some kind of housing system where you can
but then you get then you get things like projects and stuff like that because you never
think about it more like university.
But you got then you'd have to.
But think about it like that. Think about it more like university. I get it. So let me illustrate the entire image, because it's like with people staying at home longer now. Like it's way more common for people to be at home like well into their 20s. It's so much harder to figure out what you want to do out of high school and everything. A lot of people just don't have the slightest clue. A lot of people are doing bullshit degrees that they don't know that they're wasting.
Well, because
their
they're
time.
not being taught well in high school.
Exactly.
So we need to change the curriculum.
Well, yeah, that's a whole other problem that we need to solve. But it's like, what if we just you're 18 to 20 years? What if it just became normal for you to, instead of just going right off running to school to get some kind of education that maybe you're not fully, maybe you don't have the slightest clue what you want to do, but you feel like you have to move in this direction. Sure. You spend those 2 years working, doing this service. You get real world experience out in the world, and you're going to make some money. And I would even advocate, like you said, like a place to say, like, we could build housing, and then it would be, we could build, like, I think a university residency that's, you know, being run by, like, the government has, like, can have, like, a way of running it, like having people in charge of everything. But you go, you get your room, you get a dorm room, and people would be encouraged to go there. So it's not like just the people who maybe don't have the home life to support them. It's like, no, you can go and have this experience where, and you're gonna get food. It'll be like a military thing, right? Where you can get like your food and everything. You're gonna get your housing paid for as long as you're doing the service. You're gonna make say half minimum wage or a service wage, whatever you determine. You spend those 2 years saving money. You're gonna have plenty of money that, like, I feel like it would be like a good time and a good experience for a lot of people to be in that environment, because now you're making money. You don't have like crazy expenses, so you can spend that money. You're getting real world experience during the week, working. Yeah. And then on the weekends, now it'd be like a university.
Does everybody have to do
all these people? No, it's completely optional.
Oh, right.
I would advocate it's completely optional. Okay. Only if you want to have the right to vote. That's why you would go and do that. Otherwise,
is there any other way to get the right to vote? Or is that the only way?
Service.
That's the only way then to get the right to vote? What if somebody at 16, 17 decided they were going to start a business?
Yeah, you can do that.
And
you would have to do your 2 years service to
No, but I'm saying, what if they didn't want to do the 2 years service and they just wanted to start a business?
Then they go start a business.
But they have no right to vote.
They're not going to get the right to vote.
Yeah,
they'll have to do their service.
I disagree with that. I mean, I like the idea in theory, but I think there'd be different ways to add value. Like, I could add value if I were a fucking Elon Musk or something, and I started a business in my, when I was 18, 19 or whatever, and I employed 100 people, and I made a product that everybody needed and wanted. Yeah, I don't think I should lose my right to vote because I went a different path than somebody who just did some. Like, I think my contribution in that regard is much bigger than any of those people doing a 2 year service. You know what I mean? Like, so that's why I think someone like an Elon Musk, or even Bill Gates, or even these guys that I disagree with. Like, I don't like Bill Gates because I disagree with like his politics, or maybe
he's weaselly.
Yeah, exactly. I disagree with all that of him, but at the same time, he started Microsoft, and it's responsible for thousands and thousands of people enriching their lives through work. And or through product that we've all wanted. Like, we're using basically a Microsoft computer, right? So I think he's earned the right.
I completely disagree, because I don't think anything like, I think Bill Gates, the kind of person that Bill Gates is the exact kind of person that we don't want to have the right to vote, because he doesn't know the first thing about what the average person has to deal with.
Yeah, okay. I don't know. I don't agree with you here. Like, I liked some of the things you said, but I disagree with that completely.
So I think you should have to sacrifice to gain, because that shows.
You don't think that's a sacrifice to start a business and like really fucking pound it and work it?
It's a sacrifice in your personal life.
It's a sacrifice on everything, man.
But it's not going and contributing to your community in a way that's like going to work.
I disagree completely. Yeah, I think it completely is. When you're doing that, man, when you're building a business for the first bunch of years, you're building a business. Most of the time, anyway, unless you get lucky, like or your business is of you or something. Yeah, I think he.
No, he didn't get lucky.
I think they struggled. They struggled at first, though. A lot of these companies, they struggled a lot at first. Okay, but
right? What do you mean struggle? Like struggle?
I mean, where they didn't even know they were going to make fucking payroll and shit. Struggle.
Yeah, but when payroll was millions of dollars, right? So like you'll get like.
Yeah, but that's a shit ton
like Tesla struggling.
You know what kind of fucking stress that is, though?
Yeah, it's stressful.
That's a mountain of stress on somebody, right? And they're putting everything into it. They're putting all their time, energy, You know, like you're discounting that. You're discounting that too strongly. I think maybe, and I don't.
No,
I'm not putting you down
saying
for
it
this,
shouldn't be
but I'm saying
easy to just do whatever, and we just decide like, oh well, you did something, so you get the right to vote. I think we should have a system that's like, okay, you go this path if you care enough.
Not only
to
one
be
path
involved
though,
in politics,
but not only one path.
Well, it isn't one path. It's not just like you. There's anything that society needs, you could go and do and choose. Okay, but that's it.
But by you saying that, it's like, so what are you? You're picking one thing that you say society needs, or one sort of. I say society needs businesses to employ a bunch of people. So somebody who provides that
business,
but somebody who provides that business for, even if it employs one other person, they're doing a service to one other person. So I don't know why we would disagree on that. Like, I agree with your point of view,
because it should be hard to get the right to vote. You shouldn't.
But it is hard.
Do it.
But building a business is fucking hard. It's really fucking hard. Sometimes you luck into it and it's super fucking easy.
But it's not related to knowing what's good for the country. You said we should only allow adults to vote in the country they were born in. Simple. That's an interesting perspective too.
Yeah.
There's a little bit. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know if I agree with that either, Gizzle. I think you have to add value though to the country.
You can care so much more.
Yeah. But like
that's why having a system would work. You can move to the country.
I agree with part of that
service, and then
I think I agree with part of that. I think part of what he's trying to say too is like somebody who just kind of comes into the country, and then, you know, like Canada, for example. Canada is a big welfare state.
We get a lot of that.
We're a big welfare state, so a lot of people come.
The government will pay them to be here.
Right. So a lot of people come sit on the fucking system.
There are people who have come to this country and through government subsidies are living in houses 5 times the size of this place.
Yeah.
With like way nicer car, but with driving a car worth all of the cars in our driveway right now combined.
Yeah, but equally there are a shit ton of people that were born into this country and doing the same fucking thing. They're riding the system. Oh yeah, fuck it, man. When I used to manage properties, when I used to have a few kids. When I used to manage properties, women would come and show me their income, and they'd be making like $7,000-8,000 a month on Ontario Works and fucking ODS or not ODSP. Child tax benefits and all that shit.
Really revamp everything,
buddy. We live in
so we live. But that's one of the problems. One of the problems is like just everybody can vote, and so I think, and so you get a lot of these single issue voters. And you get people who just don't know anything, who just vote because they're said, "Oh, yeah, it's the right thing to do."
I'm
going to vote for this candidate because I saw on the radio that this candidate is the good candidate or something.
I don't disagree with you at all on that. That's completely.
We agree on the problem,
but we don't agree on the full solution of it. I agree with certain sentiments of what you say.
Go about.
I agree with a lot of sentiments of what you're saying, but I think you need to expand it. Like I think you need to expand into different things. You can't just say only this are eligible. There are other things that would be eligible, I think, personally.
Right.
And I think there should be some competency. Like I think there should be some level of competency.
The problem with that is who gets to decide.
Well,
I don't know that we could ever.
Well, I think you should know. Like you should know more than just the name of somebody.
Maybe you should have to graduate high school, but it's like everybody does that anyway.
I wonder how many people.
The bar goes down.
How many people do you think, in a percentage? Out of a percentage of all the people that vote, how many do you think just go in there and pick something? They don't know who the fuck they are or what. They're just like, I'm going to pick this person because they're the liberal candidate.
I want to say low, but
I'll bet you it's around shocking. 10 to 15%.
Yeah, I bet you it's a shocking amount. It might even be 20, 25.
Maybe, could be. But I bet you it's at least 10%.
Well, okay, do you...
And that can fucking sway any vote.
You can expand that percentage just by including the people who like really just voted for the first person they saw an ad for on TV. Because the way the ads work, right? It's usually like one person was there, it's like Doug Ford refuses to do this, or the other be the Doug Ford ad saying the other candidate refuses to do this. Whatever one you see first, you're just like, I'm with that guy. I agree with that, and then you're tied to it.
There's also what we get in Canada. It's like, Liberals are in right now, and I think they're going to win, so I'm going to vote for PC just to try and get a minority. Like we play weird politics with our vote even.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm going to vote for this to try and make sure that they only get a minority government. So then you get these fucking things where you get liberals and NDPs meshing up. And
you know what I find hilarious is that the liberals are campaigning on the healthcare system right now, and it's like the problems we have are their policies. They're like, yeah.
What's Gizzle saying now?
He said, he just says if you should pull it up on your phone and read them so you don't have to say what's Gizzle say every time you want to read it if you can't see it.
I can't read it from here.
Yeah, so put it up on your phone. You'll
listen,
see the
why can't you just fucking... Why don't we just sit this over where I can fucking see it then, you big jerk?
Well, you got your thing. He said,
what the hell is that? Well, you got your thing.
Well, I read it when it's relevant. You
got your thing.
Elon Musk here tweeted earlier today. Maybe turn your sound up.
Yeah.
He says if I move to Pakistan, I shouldn't be able to vote in their elections, but I should be able to mail-in vote in Canadian elections. I bet you couldn't vote in Pakistan if you moved there. The Middle Eastern countries are like weirdly based in some ways, like that. I mean, they're obviously fucking. I wouldn't want to live in Pakistan.
I can't even pull that shit up anyway. Where am I going to see the...
Wait, don't pull it up like that. Just pull up the comments.
Oh, there. You're teaching me something.
Wait, is it not showing?
I don't know, man.
Or are you on
Technologies.
Oh, you're on the wrong... You're not even on the live one. You clicked on the video.
No. Yeah. Listen, I'm not very technically savvy.
Clearly.
Clearly.
Right,
that's how you sound, by the way. That's exactly. This is exactly how you sound right here. Clearly, I want to vote.
You should do impressions.
Tyler.
You should really do impressions.
I'm fucking Tyler.
You're good at it. You're really good at
it. Yeah. Anyways, finish your point of view there.
Oh, what was my point of view? You completely derailed
Before
it.
I derailed you.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know.
What else to say about politics, man? It fucking sucks.
We need
Canadian politics is the worst. It's fucking stupid. It's just fucking stupid. Basically, you have... I don't even know if you have three parties, really. You have two parties and
pretty much everybody voting.
You have two parties and their stupid cousin they carry along, right?
Yeah.
Like, basically, the NDPs are like the idiot in the room. They never really have a shot. I mean, they won... When's the last time they won? I think Bob Ray.
Did they ever win?
Oh, yeah, Bob Ray was NDP.
I remember they were leading recently.
In the 80s or 90s.
They might have a chance. That scares me.
Yeah.
That the NDP, they were doing well recently.
Yeah.
That actually genuinely scares me.
Yeah.
Because, now we're talking about, actual communists, basically. It's
I don't know if they're that far.
They're
left.
very close.
Are they? Yeah.
They're more than the liberals. They're more like UBI.
Yeah. It used to be.
Make everything public.
But it used to be liberals were left of center and conservatives
we
were
have
right
a
of
weird
center.
political.
But now it's kind of the spectrum's all over the place now.
But the NDP are right now they seem to be full communist. Their mission statement. I wonder if I can pull up the NDP plans or what they.
If we're lucky, Mr. Pierre Poilievre will win the prime minister position next time around, but. We're talking about 3 years from now, or something. But stupid Ford, I guess he's gonna probably win again. Who's beating him?
I mean, usually it's just the incumbent, right?
Yeah, who's beating him at this point? Nobody.
Liberals ran so far left, they're now indistinguishable with the NDP. I mean,
already says Ray Dace. Yeah, the 80s Ray Dace. Yeah, I thought so. That was the last time we had an NDP. In power, and he was in Ontario. I don't know about put this one out, Artie. When has there been an NDP PM? I don't think there is.
I don't know.
I don't think there's ever been, but I don't know. I just remember the Ray days.
Yeah, it's all. Man, it's
you
all
weren't
just
even alive, so you don't even know.
Yeah, I know. It's all just bullshit, broad statements. A new tax deal for tax fairness doesn't really say how they're going to do everything.
Yeah, I know. You don't have to. You don't have to now.
Yeah.
No, you seriously don't. You don't have to have any real
I'm going to make
platform.
your life better. Vote for me.
Yeah, exactly.
How are you going to do that? I don't know.
Yeah. Even like when Trump first started, he was like, "Make America great again," and then look at Biden steals that. He's like, "Build back better."
I mean, fuck, Trump did a decent job making America.
Oh, I know. Well, I know,
better.
But at least he did have a couple of things where he said, we were gonna they're gonna build a wall and they're gonna do these different things, and he followed through. Like,
Mexico's gonna pay for the wall. People say that didn't happen, but. Yeah. Mexico spent a lot of money on military reinforcement of the border. And
look how bad the fucking cartel shit is right now. And it wasn't that bad under Trump. It's worse now.
Yeah.
So, what do you say? I believe 90s. Yeah, I think you're right, Art. I think it was the 90s.
Leighton? I don't know anything about Leighton. How old are you, Gizzo? Are you an old man like Alex over there?
Why do you got to be a dickbag about it?
Well, you're not young.
You're not
young. Spring chicken.
Yeah, you're not young. That's how you sound stupid.
You're not where you go to the gym once, you can't even extend your arms for 5 days.
I stopped going. Fuck it.
I said fuck it. That's it.
I said fuck that.
I'm not doing this shit.
Fuck that noise. I ain't going back to that place.
No NDP leader. 1917, 1920s, Sir Robert L. Burden Union. 1920s. Unionist is closest.
Gizzo's only 38 there, fucker. See? Good.
Oh, he said 38?
Gizzo's younger than me. Good job, Gizzo.
He's closer.
Fuck this. Fuck
closer
this.
to you.
Fuck you, man. You're a piece of shit. That's what you are. Mm-hmm. Gizzo and Artie are number 1 and 2 fans, depending on the week. Who's number 1? Yeah, they're jockeying position.
Listen, I'm our number 1 fan. All right,
you suck. Yeah, I don't know. It's funny because there's a guy that works for me, he's a Portuguese guy, and we were just talking today about. I was talking about Art wanting to go to Portugal, and he was like, "Oh fuck yeah," he goes, "I'd go in an instant," but he has family and stuff, right? Like he has kids and shit, so he can't go. But he's like, "Yeah, I'd love to just." Sell everything and just go.
Just go.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
That was an interesting.
This country is fucking gone to the shit.
That was interesting. Oh yeah.
Now you don't even know because you were a kid. I mean, it's been in the shit since you've been aware of it essentially. Like when do you think you were actually aware of anything? By the time you were maybe 15, maybe? Probably not even. Probably older.
Realistically, probably 2015, 2014.
Right. So. Not even 10 years.
Yeah.
I'm old enough to remember when the country was different, at least. I mean, the governments did some stupid shit. I mean, we fucking almost went bankrupt in my time period. Back in the Ray days.
Gas prices are up like, what, 100% in 2 years?
Fuck, in 2 years? In like...
A year?
Not even a year. Like what, 10 months?
Fucking, it's insane.
So but that's just hyperinflation. That's transitory. This transitory inflation.
Oh man,
it kind of is. It kind of is in a way, like as hyper as it is right now. You know what it is? It's that overcorrection. It's like I say this to people all the time. So what you'll see happen now, and it's happened before, and it'll keep happening. Now the gas prices are like $2 a liter. Yeah. They'll get up to like maybe $2.20 or something like that, and they'll park there for a little while, and then they'll drop back. Fairly drastically down to like $1.40, $1.50, and people go, "Oh, fucking gas is cheap." Yeah. No, it's not fucking cheap, stupid.
It's way more expensive.
50 or 60 cents more per liter than it was a year ago.
Yeah,
you fucking idiot. You sheep. You just believe it because you're conditioned so well into just believing any fucking bullshit you're fed. You just, it's cheap now. It's like chocolate bars. Have you ever noticed how fucking small chocolate bars are now?
Yeah, they sell packets of 2.
They get
because if you want the same amount, you gotta get.
They get 2. Smaller and smaller and smaller. Same fucking price.
Same with
people
chip bags.
Yeah,
lower the grams in there.
Yep.
I mean, they're already like way bigger.
Yeah,
right.
And then for the air, there's like fucking half air, half chips.
Yeah, and
you couldn't fill that bag up
with the reflectiveness inside, so it feels like it's bigger, but it's like.
What's that? What's he saying here? Sheldon's cousin moving there. Oh yeah. Oh shit. We're having a conversation right now. Already.
I
know. This is like a personal conversation right now.
I don't know.
We're just talking about. Nobody's gonna know who Sheldon is, or or why he's got an IT job there. And shit, man.
I just hope he's happy.
Fuck you, you turncoat. Why do you gotta be a turncoat like that, Artie? Uh-oh. Did we lose our? No, we didn't.
No.
Okay.
I hope not.
Yeah, Artie's moving. That's all I know. Well, hey, listen, asshat, you can still comment on the podcast from Portugal.
Have you seen this?
Gizzo lives in Ottawa, I think, right? He said.
I think you said Ottawa in the past.
So Gizzo, are you a fan of Poilievre? Pierre Poilievre, whatever the fuck, however you say his last name. He's a PC candidate. He's from somewhere in Ottawa, some riding in Ottawa.
I like Bernier.
He's the MP. What's that?
I like Maxime Bernier.
Who is that?
Libertarian.
Oh, yeah.
They created a new party in the last election. They got
the People's
Party. Yeah,
yeah.
Bernie.
They got 5 million votes though.
Yeah,
it represented 3% or something like that of the total votes.
It was 3%. No, that's not right in Canada.
Yeah, it was
5 million
of the total votes though. Of the total votes cast.
Yeah. They didn't get 5 million if it was 3%.
No, they got 5%.
That might be.
That's it. It might have been 3 million and 5% or something like that. I can't remember what it was, but it was. I know there was a 5 in there.
There's a 5 somewhere.
There was a 5 somewhere in the number. Yeah. Arts is the result of oil prices, or the result of oil prices. Yeah, the result of oil prices is the result of declining exploration since 2014. That's true. People want the elimination of carbon emissions, but our infrastructure is not structured to convert quickly. Yeah, true, but also because.
Oh wait, the fucking
shit up.
Jordan Peterson interviewed that guy. Interesting. I'm gonna have to watch that. Did I watch that?
Bernier?
Maxime Bernier.
So he likes her too.
Yeah.
Gizzo likes her too.
Yeah, because Gizzo's probably more libertarian leaning, if I'm assuming, which I do. I always assume. Now I'm looking up this Jordan Peterson interview. Did he?
Oh, we could talk about Jordan Peterson interview. I love Jordan Peterson.
Well, I have to watch the interview first.
Favorite. He's just so fucking. I love anybody who's just full of common sense.
You see him get chased off Twitter for that beauty thing?
No. That's not surprised.
Yeah, I won't be able to pull it up quick because I don't want to risk kicking us off the internet. But yeah, there's some controversy. Okay, well, I'll look that up later.
Yeah, and I agree. Art says we can't wean off oil anytime soon. Yep.
No.
Yeah, it's of course there are factors that create instability in the markets and stuff. Like of course Russia and
QE.
Yeah, well that's been going on now since.
Why don't we just not pump the market?
Yeah. But what I'm saying though is of course there are other factors outside of QE and things like that are actually that are actually contributing. Sure, the Russia thing will contribute. Absolutely. Anytime, anytime there's instability, it'll do that.
Market.
People overreact, but they're also using it heavily as an excuse. Inflation was already going bananas before.
Biden was canceling oil and gas leases.
What do you think's gonna fucking happen?
Yeah.
What do you think's gonna happen when you do this kind of shit? Yeah. You fucking moron.
It makes you think what if?
Exactly. Well, he's not a moron.
Is he really
doing it on purpose?
Is there a reason that they're doing all of this, and that's a little bit more nefarious? Which brings us to the transition. I was going to pull this up. Have you seen this? Bill Gates has now come out and said that COVID is just like the flu.
Oh,
it's just like the flu.
It's so funny how they just all come around, eh?
It's just like the flu.
Yeah.
It's it's a little bit different, but like the flu, it just affects old people or whatever. It's this is the guy pushing fascism essentially. Now coming out and saying, all the people that I smeared and everything, they were right. The vaccines are imperfect. He said, it's just like the flu, hurts the elderly more. And it's we didn't understand that it's a fairly low fatality rate, and that it's a disease mainly in the elderly, kind of like the flu is, although a bit different than that. Who didn't understand that? Because many people were saying that.
This is what they do all the time, right? They go, they say all this shit, this contrary shit at first to serve their purpose, and then later they walk it all back, but they don't ever explain that they said the other way. They just kind of try and wrap it into we've always kind of said that. We just didn't know certain things, but we've always kind of said that. No, you didn't, you fuck.
I know, they always walk it back.
You know what the worst part of it is for them, I mean, it should be, but it doesn't seem to matter. There's fucking video footage of them saying the opposite. But it doesn't matter. They can just keep saying, that's not exactly what I said. Oh, would you retract, Gizzo?
I saw it. I'm going to do it. I saw what he said. I'm going to do it. I'm doing it.
What do you say?
I'm going to show you the thing that Jordan Peterson got in trouble for. He wants a live reaction, he said. If I can... I can't find it on his Twitter. Did he delete the tweet? Maybe he deleted the tweet. I'll find it.
Do you know what he said?
Yes.
I can fill a cat in, buddy. Fill a cat in.
Because it'll be funnier
if
you
I get a
see
reaction
it.
to it? All right.
Yeah.
I should have thrown these beers in the freezer. That was my mistake.
That was your mistake. What the hell is your problem? Oh, there it is.
Come on. Get it.
I believe this.
My fucking back is sore.
Yep, that's the article. Okay.
Oh, did you hear that?
I heard that.
Oh, I think my back is broken. I'm pretty sure it just broke it. Yeah. Yeah, I'm stuck like this now. Like with my arms, couldn't straighten my arms out.
Now you can't straighten your back out. Okay.
Oh, I'm an old man.
Well, at least you admit it.
At least you admit it. My name's Tyler, and I'm stupid and kind of just dumb. I was gonna say the R word, but I was like, I'm using.
Don't say the R word.
No, I'm using a voice, and I shouldn't be using that.
You'll get us kicked off of the internet.
You just kicked us off?
No, I said you will.
Oh yeah. I'm sure I will.
What's the paste button?
Oh man, good ones. Man, you know what? You're no Jamie.
I got it coming up right now.
You went in such defense mode there.
Listen,
I got it coming up right there.
Listen,
Aww.
It's the fact that the internet takes a while to load stuff.
You just fucking finished saying how good the internet was lately.
No, that's
a
before.
slight against Mike. I'm gonna tell Mike. You're the worst.
I think it's your laptop that can't handle multiple processes at the same time.
You know what much this laptop cost me though?
I don't know, a few $100.
Some dignity. Randy gave it to me. My buddy gave it to me. It was his old one.
All right, now we're just waiting for this, to load.
It just cost me some dignity is all.
Just a little bit of dignity.
The next one will cost me money. Reals money.
Real money.
Reals money, man. Reals money.
It's about time you spend some real money on something.
What are you fucking talking about? What are you talking into right now? I ponied up on these.
Fix your pool pump so we can go swimming.
Yeah, it's this weekend.
This weekend is going to be fixed?
At some point.
At some point, he says.
Yeah. Come on, man. This is taking a long time.
Hell, it's your laptop.
I don't even know what's going to happen, so...
You're
leaving me in the dark here.
Well, you can see right here, it's a Sports Illustrated swimsuit 2022 model. Jordan Peterson said, this is not beautiful. And
is it like a...
It's not
is
very
Is she big girl or is she...
Well, you'll see.
Maybe not a she?
That would be hilarious. It's not a she. It would be hilarious if you could like see the outline of a dick in the swimsuit. It's like
there's a dick.
This is a dick right here. Oh my god, this is taking forever. I'm just gonna show you on my phone.
This is taking forever.
This is the thing.
It's the thing? You call it a thing?
That's the thing.
All right, let's get this up on the...
Well, it'll load eventually.
Oh, there we go. Yeah. She doesn't look happy, though. That's what's fucking weird about it.
I don't think she's allowed to.
Just smile a little bit. Yeah, you know what? I mean, I'm not with you where I think...
What you guys don't understand is Alex is a complete deviant.
No, but I'm not with you where I think she looks gross or anything.
I think she's gross.
No, I don't think she looks gross, but I just think she looks like a... I don't know. She looks like a chick who...
She's not a swimsuit model.
She looks like a chick who eats hamburgers a lot.
Just right? A few hamburgers.
And that's cool. Eat hamburgers all you want. But I don't know why she has to be on Sports Illustrated swimsuit edition.
Because all sizes are beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with her being on a magazine or anything. I think she's a good-looking woman. I think she's bigger than maybe I would be into necessarily. Like, I wouldn't necessarily be in that. I say not necessarily.
The controversy is
maybe
Jordan Peterson said. The tweet was right here. Sorry, not beautiful, and no amount of authoritarian tolerance is going to change that. And it was like a whole controversy, like got run off Twitter or something.
I think it's funny because
he's commenting on their like forcing certain things. I kind of
disagree. I disagree a little bit with like his hard stance on it. He doesn't have to say.
It's a weird thing for Jordan Peterson to come out and
I agree.
Have a stance on.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm way more deviant than Alex, but she doesn't belong on a swimsuit cover. I mean, yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think so either.
I agree that Gizzo, you are far more of a deviant.
Does she belong on the cover of a magazine? Maybe. Like depends on the magazine. If it's plus size girls or something, yeah, absolutely.
I don't really care. I mean, it's like you do your magazine how you want to do your magazine.
I just don't know why they're changing. I don't know why they're changing the script.
Well, you know why. It's this.
I know.
It's this
the
pushing.
It's the woke fucking
woke nonsense. This
bullshit.
idea that all sizes, healthy at all sizes, and it's like. That's why Jordan Peterson is commenting on it.
What pisses me off about that.
It finally loaded on here.
That's just not factually true. You can't say that somebody who is, 50 or 100 pounds overweight is perfectly healthy. They're gonna have some health risks.
Yeah, and you also can't say that a person with a penis is a woman, and they do.
Right? Yeah. I mean, but to say, hey, to each your own and do whatever you want to do and whatever, great. And I agree with not shaming people either, but I don't think you should also do the opposite. Like, in order to not shame somebody, you have to fucking praise them? No, you just leave it alone. You just go, okay, no, we're not going to say anything about it. Like, if you don't have anything good to say, don't say anything at all.
Yeah, just let people live their life.
Right.
Don't force your political ideology down our throats.
And that's the problem. It's like you try and keep pushing it to the point where we just swallow it. We swallow it hard. We go, all right.
We take
it. Pushed it so much on me. Like, have you ever watched a show where, I'm sure you have because there's so many of them out there now, where there's a character who there's something about the character, like let's say they're transgender or something like that, and it just doesn't fit. You're just like, okay, clearly you stuck that in there. You know what I mean? Like, if it's organically in the story.
They did that in Doctor Strange in a way that it's just like you just put that in there for your.
Yeah, if it's organically in the story, I'm all for it. Or if you you do it in a way where it's like you're not telling us necessarily that's happening, but then all of a sudden maybe it's revealed a little bit, like late through. Like, let's say for example, there's a male to female transgender person in a show, and you don't hear anything about the fact that they're transgendered until maybe somewhere like halfway through the season or 3/4 way through the season where they're talking about it and they say, oh yeah, well, back when I was a man or something.
That came out, it got like a lot of controversy. I think it was called Chad. And it was like about a high school boy, but he's played by a middle-aged woman.
Yes, it said maybe airbrush the side.
That's a good comment. Maybe.
He said maybe.
But
it's an idea.
That's real is, I think, part of their point. Like, that's what like a real woman looks like. So, like, that's what a real woman who overeats looks like.
What a lot of real women look like, but a lot of real women look like
different. A lot of women look better in swimsuits than that one.
No, we know what's going on. It's like it's that hyper push. There's always that always happens with everything when you're trying to normalize something, or you're trying to make everybody okay with something. It's almost like it's a human fucking instinct to just push it hard. It's that oversell on something. So, I know why they're doing it, but it doesn't make me swallow it any better.
It makes me more resistant.
Yeah, I think so.
It makes me fight it.
Yeah.
Like, no, fuck you.
Right.
Just to be the counter guy. It's like, no, I'm going to say the opposite
right.
of what you're going to say. I'm going to be a little bit more aggressive to the other side.
Like, you think they would have taken some tips or some feedback from, like, the gay movement, right? Like, in the 80s, there was such a hyper push for gays, right? Like, because there was AIDS and all that shit, and then it was like there was this whole like
gay marriage was illegal.
Well, yeah, and so I mean, there was this weird sort of push in that time, but then that kind of stopped, and then it just started
because
becoming...
it was liberals saying, "Hey, let's just give people rights," and then they got rights, and then they're like, "Cool,
yeah."
and then it stopped, and then it became like more authoritarian, woke.
But that's where you got to go with it, right? Bullshit. You just got to go ahead and say, all right, well, like, so for gay marriage or whatever, yeah, just say, all right, should they have the right to marry? Sure, why not? And you just give them the right to marry, right? And then you push it that way. You don't push it on the culture, essentially. Like, they feed it down your fucking throat.
Right, like, yeah, you have to, like, look at this and like it. Like,
yeah.
What the hell?
Or, like, this absolute nonsense of where they say, like, if a guy isn't attracted to a transgender girl, he's somehow a transphobe.
Yeah, so he's a straight man.
He's just biologically a straight man. Or even let's push the other way. Fuck this, I'm gonna do it. Let's use it this way: a black man who's not attracted to white women, is he a racist? He's just not attracted to them.
No, but it's the other way around. Yes.
Well, that's what I mean. Like,
they would say that
any race who's not attracted necessarily to another race doesn't make them racist.
Yeah, it's weird. The left is all about like body autonomy and personal choice until
it disagrees with their ideology.
Yeah, until you use your body in a way that they don't want you to and choose things that they don't want you to choose. Like, they're so quick to be against it. Like, oh yeah, no, you don't, like, you shouldn't be forced to sleep with anybody. Oh, but if you're a bad person if you don't want to sleep with a transgender person. Right. It's like, what?
And like I've admitted,
how about the people? Like, there are people that are into that.
I've admitted
that are genuinely into that. Like, as
I'm attracted to a transgendered woman,
person.
Yeah, fucking Blair White. That I found that chick attractive. I have to admit, I found her attractive when I was watching Joe Rogan's podcast.
That's the other thing too. Like, there are a lot of people that are like specifically into that, but it's like, well, now you're fetishizing it. It's like, well, why can't people just, like, what the fuck?
You can't win, apparently. Eh? Yeah.
Well, but that's the thing, right?
Yeah.
They just want to be angry.
Yeah.
They just want to be mad at you.
I know. Yeah. It's like,
for some reason,
it almost wouldn't matter if you agreed completely.
Yeah. No, it wouldn't.
Like, they still want to be mad at you.
Yeah. That's all they want. They just want to be mad. They just want to be contentious and argue and fight you about shit. It's like, what the hell?
No, we gave in to everything you wanted.
More.
No, you didn't give in to that other thing. You didn't say you wanted that.
Then they moved the goalpost. Yeah, they just moved the goal. They just moved the goalposts.
Yeah, well, that's where we live. But that's humans, though. I think humans do that anyway, no matter what. Like, they're never settled. They're never like
satisfied.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can have everything and you're still not satisfied. Yeah. Like, if you're in politics, and you basically rule the world, well, then now you got to rule kids.
Yeah.
Now you got to have sex with kids.
I mean, that seems to be the case. It's just like an inevitability.
Yeah.
All throughout all of history is actually really fucked up. All the history of that.
How many like politicians or like powerful people like that do you think are in like little rings where they're actually like hunting people?
Hunting people?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'll bet you that fucking shit happens all the time.
Hunting?
In like weird places.
Yeah.
In like weird other countries and stuff. Or even like islands like the like creepy fucking Epstein's Island, where they would just bring somebody and then hunt them. Put them on the island and then fucking hunt them.
Yeah, maybe. I feel like you don't want to put them on the that like you might as well just murder them at that point, right? Like,
well, you do murder.
There's something to the game.
That's what I'm saying.
Of hunting, so you bring them someplace where it's like a vast wilderness or something.
Well, I mean, if the island's big enough.
Epstein Island?
Well, I'm not saying Epstein's Island. I'm saying like Epstein's Island. right? Like there's an island like that.
Yeah, you get a big island.
No, Epstein's Island was just purely for sex.
I think
it was for kids sex.
Yes, it was.
It was just purely for pedophilia. That was pedophilia island. I'm not talking.
Yeah.
That's not chase a kid down and shoot him island. That's a different island.
They're probably doing that. Yeah, they're definitely doing that. There are examples, I think, that I've heard of history of people doing that shit, which is like,
if we can invent it, if we can think about it,
it's happened
probably
times
happening.
100.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was definitely happening.
Well, there's movies on that shit.
It regularly happens. Because, like, that's the thing. There's definitely a lot of fucked up shit that happens at the upper levels of power because you have groups motivated to sort of gain influence over these people, so they want to sort of blackmail them. They want to get them doing something that they shouldn't do. Like, I think that's a lot of what was going on in Epstein Island. It's like, hey, you come here, and they have like this young girl sort of flirt with you, and like you think that you're just having a good time with the girl that wants to have sex with you. Is that then you find out that she was like 15, and they're like, oh yeah, by the way, that night we got it all on camera. That whole room was videoed, and you fucked a 15-year-old. So you're gonna do what we say.
Yeah. And
then that happens in it, and then once you're in, you're probably in, right? Like some people probably just say, all right, well, can I come back every Sunday?
Yeah, like, I liked fucking that 15-year-old.
Whatever, man, you got me. I'll do what you say. I'll just
as long as you keep
more often.
Yeah, as long as you keep giving me 15-year-olds, fuck, I'm good with it. I'm fine.
Yeah, and then you get a little, less.
You want to get that one on camera again too?
Yeah, exactly. Could I get those tapes?
Can I get those tapes? Yeah. There's 6 other days of the week. I'm gonna need a little.
I need something.
A little shmem.
A little shmem for the rest of the week.
Yeah. What's that? Bohemian Grove. Oh yeah. That's what.
That's a weird one.
Yeah,
where they were doing the rituals.
Yeah. Oh fuck. Yeah, but you know what? People get fucking weird when they're at a level like that, right?
Well, you know what? I don't think it's that weird. I buy into the more occulty, magic-y kind of stuff more than the average person.
I know you do.
And I definitely think that it's once they get up to that level, I think that there are things
they know that they're sharing with each other.
I think that they know that
more that people don't know, like that regular folk like us don't know.
Yeah, I think it's occult stuff.
Yeah, but do you think that they know stuff?
I think that they know stuff that regular people don't know, but not that's inaccessible to regular people. Like we would call it a cult, right? And I think that that's what they're doing. And whether there's any validity to it or not, I don't know. But I think probably. I think that's why they do it and why these traditions have lasted for thousands and thousands of years. And I think there's a lot of validity to some of this stuff. And so, who knows exactly what they're trying to do, but they're definitely doing occult rituals. That's what Bohemian Grove is. When they're doing they're burning the owl effigy to Moloch, and I don't know what else awesome. They do, but
that's pure awesome.
Yeah.
How could you do that with a straight face? How could you be part of it and they'd be like,
well,
I'd have to be on something. Heavy duty fucking shit.
Well, what if it works and you get results in your life? Well, I guess you've experienced weird stuff.
I guess I'm burning.
Right? So, like, what if one of the weird things that you experienced happened as a direct product of a deliberate action that you took?
Like burning an owl.
Well, yeah, like you've talked about, like meeting your brother in a dream and it feels real.
Yeah, sure.
Right? So maybe it is, but maybe it isn't. But what if you did some kind of ritual to incite that, and then it happened? You'd be much more and be like, okay, that ritual did something.
I guess. Yeah, I guess that's fair.
And so that's what I'm saying might be going on here.
That's a fair point, but.
Not to say that you can summon your brother, but
there is something weird to the fact that for probably as long as humanity, as long as we've, well, at the very least, as long as we've recorded history, that people have done shit like that, where they've done some kind of like sacrificial crap or like ritualistic crap. There's always some bullshit like that has like commonality to it, you know, where there's an offering, or they're burning an offering to something. So it kind of screams the idea that maybe there is like
higher level beings,
or something like that
influence reality in some
like
way.
The idea that religion,
some might call them gods.
Yeah, well, the idea that religion is a constant sort of thing in humanity is a bit weird. You know what I mean?
It's weird. It's not necessarily weird because you can say, oh, well, the human mind is like the human psyche is sort of in the same way that no matter where you go, human beings have hands with 5 fingers. Yeah. You could say that maybe the psyche is predisposed to this way of thinking. But it's the similarities in the religions, the similarities in the rituals, the fact that you had pyramids in different parts of the world seemingly independently. As far as we know, they just independently all figured out to build pyramids for whatever reason.
That was John.
John did the pyramids?
John did the pyramids. And he did them all in like a week.
All of them?
All of them, yeah. He just moved around. Took his pyramid building kit, and he went somewhere else.
I heard a story that's funny. Do you know who Aleister Crowley is?
I know the name. Why do I
Aleister Crowley is like the most famous magician, like occult.
Oh, probably you said
practitioner.
It
I don't think I have.
No? I don't know why.
Aleister Crowley is a famous name.
Okay, I know the name somehow.
But he's like the most famous like occult like magician, like in terms of actual like magic with a K, practicing, doing rituals and stuff like that.
Sure. You sure you've never said him before? I feel like you might have.
Yes, because I hardly knew anything about him until like a week ago.
Oh, okay.
I knew of him, but I didn't know enough to ever really bring him up at all. But he was I forget what year he was born here, but like in like 1905 or something, he was doing some weird ritual stuff in the pyramids in Egypt. And so apparently what happened is he went into the pyramids and he was doing this ritual of I don't remember what. I have no idea what he was trying to do. He's doing a ritual inside. I think it was the Great Pyramid of Giza, and I think he was trying to contact Horus or something. I don't know, some Egyptian god or something. And he apparently like opened up some portal, and didn't do the ritual to close the portal. And ever since then, the pyramid has been haunted by demons because Aleister Crowley in like 1905 left a portal open that the demons could come through.
Funny. And these jackasses are being funny too. And I'm reading this, so you're saying it's funny. And
the Black Hebrew Israelites built. That's what they say. They built all of society according to them.
And already says he still thinks John did it.
John might have built the pyramids.
With the crew people I met.
The pyramids are weird. It's weird that you have pyramids everywhere.
That is weird. That is weird.
They must have had some kind of purpose that we just don't know, or some lost technology.
Did you ever watch Ancient Aliens, or is it Ancient Aliens?
Ancient Aliens, yeah.
Something like that.
I've seen episodes. I never watched.
And there was one where they talked about the pyramids being like landing zones for extraterrestrials. Like they were markers.
Did they?
Yeah. It was kind of neat. That show was funny because it did one of these. Like when it was talking about something, it was like, and possibly it was this, and if so, blah 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 blah. It was always like they were very careful about making sure that they
were putting on a show too.
Yeah,
I think the most compelling theory about what the pyramids were is that they had something to do with electricity, something to do with the way there's like natural fields of the earth, and when you build the pyramid in a certain way, there and you had the capstone on top, it was like a certain kind of material that somehow produced power of some sort, and that's why, like in the past, you have.
I've never heard that actually.
Yeah, and that's a lot of theories why, like in Egypt, you have hieroglyphics of like things that look like light bulbs and stuff that like seem to be, and you have stories of like. Lamps that never go out and stuff like that. It just sounds like someone had a light bulb.
I just think it's amazing that they built this giant fucking pyramid that was nearly perfect.
Couple of them. Well, actually, the big one was the oldest.
Yeah.
And the other ones aren't as good.
What I'm saying though is it's nearly fucking perfect, and I can't build a deck 30 by 20 that's not out an inch and and a half from one end.
But
you know what I'm saying? Like, and I've got fucking tools.
You're nothing special.
But I've got tools and shit.
And these ancient
and
people.
these guys did it with fucking stones and crap.
That's the weird thing is that the big ones, I think it's the...
They must have been on meth,
I think it's like the
they were on
three...
meth.
They probably were. Meth helps
they have to
with
be.
a lot of
Meth
things.
fucking straightens you right up.
It's like the three big pyramids, the main ones, are significantly higher quality than all the other ones. But all the other ones are newer.
Yeah.
So it's like they're even older.
Well, John built the big ones, and then a bunch of fucking douchebag copycats tried to build
it's like,
the
what was going on?
Like, what's John building?
Yeah.
What's that thing John's building? Build it. You build it.
Yeah. And
then Chad came in there.
Couldn't do it.
Fucking
as well.
everybody knows Chad's a douche.
Yeah, Chad's a fucking douche.
And Chad was trying to copy him, and all his pyramids suck. Because Chad fucking sucks. Everybody knows that Chad, and he's an asshole.
Yeah.
Thinks he's cool.
Everyone
he's really kind of not cool.
Asshole.
Yeah, pretty much. Sorry, Chads. Any Chads watching?
But also not sorry. You're
not
probably
sorry.
an asshole,
Your name's
so
Chad.
fuck you.
Fucking Chad. There's nothing you can do about it, I suppose.
Yeah.
Change your name.
Yeah, I mean, you can do that legally.
Just change your name from Chad to Chaz.
Mm-hmm.
That would totally fit. Yeah, it says they ran out of meth. Yeah, they probably did. They probably ran out of meth. That's probably what happened.
The end of it. Yep. But then we got more meth. And then the Nazis used it to almost take over the world.
Yeah. Did you end up watching that, what I was telling you about?
Well, I don't know.
Tell you about that?
What?
Didn't I tell you there was a whole show thing I watched on that? Or like
no, I don't think so.
Yeah. Oh.
I don't think so.
Didn't I tell you that about the Nazis and the meth?
I remember. You've mentioned the
Nazis. No, I'm the one that told you about the Nazis and meth.
Yeah,
but
you didn't. Well, no, I knew about
you knew
that.
That?
That's like kind of known.
I thought I told you about that.
It's.
I thought you didn't know when I told you about that.
No.
No, maybe not.
I mean, you mentioned it.
Oh, I'm sure I
definitely
did.
mentioned
I mentioned it to a lot of people.
Yeah.
I just mentioned it to someone else the other day, and they were like, "Really?" Oh, it's Chris, cousin Chris.
Oh, he doesn't know.
Let's tell him he didn't know that.
The Nazis.
And he was like, "Really?" And then we looked it up, and he was like, "Oh my god." Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What's next?
I was waiting there. I was just waiting to see when you'd start talking. I was like, dead air.
Okay, we're talking about some crazy technologies.
Leave that picture up a little longer. Kind of like.
So let's look.
I'm gonna look like that after the summer. It's gonna be a summer of fucking. Oh, you know what I found out the other day? Burger King. Fuck you, Burger King. Has a delicious fucking dessert. It's this little like chocolate pie thing they have. It's fucking delish. I've been thinking about it for 2 days now.
Really?
Yeah.
You gonna get that after?
So good. No, but I might get it like tomorrow or something.
Maybe.
I'm gonna have to ration this thing because this thing will make me look like a Sports Illustrated swimsuit model.
Well, hey, so you're no spring chicken. You know, you're.
What's that mean?
A little bit decrepit.
What's that mean?
You're an old fuck. But
wow, you're calling your dad old too. Then
there's hope for my dad's like over 10 years older than you.
Yeah. So, wow.
Yes, I'm calling my dad old. Why would I argue that my dad's
the worst kind of person?
I have this abstract of a study pulled up here that was really interesting the other day. This is basically, I'm going to read the sum of the abstract because it gets kind of technical towards the end, but the main gist of it comes out right here. Recent understanding of how the systemic environment shapes the brain throughout life has led to numerous intervention strategies to show brain aging. Cerebrospinal fluid makes up the immediate environment of brain cells, providing them with nourishing compounds. We discovered that infusing young cerebral spinal fluid, CSF, directly into aged brains improved memory function. Unbiased transcriptome analysis of the hippocampus identified to be the most responsive to these rejuvenated CSF environment. We further showed that young CSF boosts that same thing in proliferation in differentiation in the aged hippocampus and in primary OPC cultures using blah, 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 blah.
Wow.
The gist of this is that they found that by injecting the cerebral spinal fluid of young mice into the brains of older mice, it made them effectively young brains again.
Young brains?
Yeah, I don't know if it's just the brains.
We're figuring out anti-aging.
Or you know,
we totally are.
They did it with so they've done it with blood transfusions.
Yeah.
And then this is now you can do it with spinal fluids. I don't know. I think it's just the brain starts to function as if it's younger, and then the blood makes like the whole thing younger. The study that I'm remembering is that they did a complete blood transfusion of a young mouse with an old mouse, and when it was all said and done with, the old mouse was indistinguishable from the young mouse. Like you just couldn't tell that it was an old mouse anymore.
Just by the way it acted, or
no, like by looking at its like all of this thing, right? Like the aging qualities. Like in a person, you'd have you get like facial features, just various things. You could like maybe look into your organs and see sort of maybe a little bit decay in the way that they function or the quality. But no, like every measure that you could have on this mouse indicated that it was a young mouse, but in reality, it was an old mouse. Right, like we could do a blood test, and it would be a blind blood test, and they would know that I'm younger than you. They could probably figure it out by measuring our heart rate. Like, there's just so many things that they could look at and determine that.
Mm-hmm.
But if you got a blood transfusion, that might not be so much the case.
I think if this technology of the anti-aging and that kind of stuff, anything related to this, outpaces our technological advances for the betterment of society, that to allow us to not have to work when we talk about like
right, so the like post scarcity,
where
they got like robots.
I think if this outperforms it or outpaces it, we're fucked.
Right, so you have like someone who's like 200 years old.
Yeah, we're fucked if this outpaces it. Because you'll get people that will, number one, only the most elite will have access to this kind of stuff. Like it'd be like plastic surgery.
Maybe
like,
right away, but it depends on how easy it is.
But I don't think like it will be that easy to get it. And I think they'll make sure it isn't that fucking easy.
Yeah,
to get.
Turn it into Elysium.
Yeah,
maybe.
So you'll get that, and then what will end up happening is you'll have a society that will just basically turn into chaos. They'll just start to... You'll get the two-tier society where you have the absolute elites. I mean, we're already seeing elites versus regular, but you'll get an absolute, elite, and then everyone else, and it'll destroy humanity. Personally,
because you have people living for a long time.
Because they'll be like, basically they'll be the equivalent of gods to everybody else.
No, because you can still kill them, and I feel like
but they'll make it to a point where we can't kill them.
How? Unless you're talking about like technologies of like uploading your consciousness.
No. Well, yeah, but I mean, but they'll. So have you seen what show is that? It's funny that you said that. There's a show almost like that where they upload their consciousness. Anyways, but
I don't know.
the elites separate themselves completely from everyone else. And I mean, if we had enough technology to get even off the
like
planet,
Elysium, where they're not there.
Yeah, you could just get off the planet, go to the moon, and be far enough away that nobody can get to you. You know what I mean?
Maybe the Mars colony.
It would have to be like basically people that were working for you. If you had actual people working for you, and you didn't have like robots and shit doing it, it would have to be them having a mutiny against you. You know what I mean? Otherwise, it would be everybody working on the planet to provide for these elites.
Yeah, I feel like that would... You need a lot of technology to enforce that.
I think we need to die.
We're getting close.
Like, we need to die at a certain...
Well, I think it's a part of the whole thing.
Of course it's
being here.
Of course it is. Of course it is. But I mean, I think we need to die for our betterment.
You want to talk to my like grander, more spiritual views of what reality is and how it works. I think death is the point. Death isn't the point. It's a point.
So there was a thing I saw. I can't remember where I saw it, but it was talking about how this is like almost like a testing ground. And then if we don't pass, we have to keep doing it.
Yeah.
Over and over.
Until
we figure it out.
yeah, there's a lot of different ideas on how this might work. As some people are here for like tens of thousands,
and maybe that's why there's like
generations.
reincarnation, or people feel like they've had a past life. Maybe there's like this echo.
There's a lot of weird past life stuff.
Do you feel that
I've had a past life?
Yeah. Do you ever feel anything like that? Me neither.
I had a weird experience.
I always feel like I'm an old soul. Like where I feel like I would have done better in a different time period, but I don't feel like I lived another time period.
Yeah, I haven't had the proper past life experience that some people describe, where they like almost feel like they're there. It's like a memory of some sort. But I did have a weird experience tripping one time where everything went super primal. Like it like stripped everything away to like, I don't even know how to describe it. It was like so primal. I guess one way to say it is it almost felt like I was seeing myself as a being that was almost millions of years old. Right? And there was the vast majority of existence was more what we would describe as like primitive primal, more to the land, natural, just kind of being out in the wild, right? You got to kill your dinner, and there's a lot more hardships than we have now.
We jumped off that topic too soon for Art's comments, but he's talking about, he says, look at the Mars colonization. The common folk are not going to go in there in the incipient stages. Incipient stages. Elites will have the queue, and they will be selecting the most genetically optimal elites. Of course,
You already have genetic selection with like CRISPR and stuff like that.
Sure, absolutely. It's just not. They haven't made it. People haven't fully accepted it yet. It's like stem cells and all these different things that we're doing to fuck with ourselves, and and try and.
The stem cells is the weird one. Stem cells are so promising. I can't believe that you can't do stem cell therapy like
I know
anywhere. Like,
I'm so for all this shit. What I'm not really for is it's not. I shouldn't say that I'm not really for, but I'm not as for, I guess, the elongating your life too much. Because if you do that, if we were to elongate your life so much, you start to lose purpose, right? You start to the idea that you're going to die at a certain time period, we all kind of know, like, within like 20 years.
Yeah, but that's changed drastically.
Well, sure it has. But I'm saying, anybody you talk to would never say that, I'm going to live to 130.
I think.
Unless they're an idiot, because it's so unlikely.
Some people now, young people now might.
Well, they might, but I'm saying
extension. So you're not.
I agree with you, but what I'm saying though is they wouldn't think that they're going to.
Yeah, you don't intuit it.
So what I mean by that is, like, I'm for the idea of.
I think as long as we can sustain it, I don't have a problem with extending it, because I think the issue is, I think it's your problem.
If we could live,
I think it's your problem if you extend your life, because I think at a certain point you're gonna find yourself in hell. Well, in the most literal sense,
probably.
And so
but if we could make our life, let's say if somebody told you now, let's say that you're going to die at 75, right? But until 75, you're going to feel like you do right now.
Right.
Wouldn't you say yeah?
Oh yeah.
Fucking right, I would.
75, I get to live longer than the vast majority of human beings, and I get to have this body.
Not no, because men, the average the average age of a man is like 77 or something.
Now,
78. Yeah. But I'm saying,
people died when they were like 40.
No,
mostly,
but I'm saying right now. If somebody said to you now,
no, I'm not saying I could live longer than the average person now. I'm talking about all of human history.
Oh, okay.
I get to be alive longer than most people. But pretty much everybody that's ever lived.
Chances are you're going to live till like you're 80 or something now, right? Now. But the difference is how quality are those years going to be, And that's where I would look at it. I'd be like, hey, if somebody told me I could live 75 absolute quality, painless, strong years, yeah, I'll take it. Hands down, I'll roll that dice that way rather than go, oh no, I'd roll the dice to maybe live to 95. No, fuck, I'll live to 75 and then.
I don't know though. I think there's something to aging. There's something to decaying away that is, I don't know. It almost feels like a part of it.
Yeah, like Art
If you
just
can
said.
do it
Art's
properly.
saying exactly what I'm saying. Like, is there a point to living to 150 if you're...
There might be if you're like doing something, like if you're exploring. Like if we're going out, and maybe you can live to like indefinitely,
Yeah,
but you get to like travel
you can't
fast
fucking
differences.
move though.
Well,
And all you have is a consciousness.
Yeah, you would want to do it if you could like maintain.
And that's
your
what I'm
body,
saying.
but-
Like, so that's where for me it's like less about elongating our lives and more about making us stronger for longer.
Yeah.
You know, like you see people living to like 90 and 100 and shit, and some of them are living pretty fucking well, which is cool.
Yeah.
Like there's a guy that comes in the shop. He's 91. And he gets around really fucking good. Like, he looks good. I thought he was like 70, 75 tops. He's 90 fucking 1. I said to him, I'm like, wow, man. Like, what are you doing? Like, share your secret, buddy, because you're vibrant for that age. But then there's another fucking dude comes in. He's like, I think he's like somewhere in his late 60s or something. He can barely fucking look up. He's like, because he's everything's fucked. Kill me. Sorry, kill me at that point. The other guy, if I can live like the other guy's living, and he's fine, maybe he's dealing with a little bit of pain, but he's moving around and he's getting around fine and shit. All right, yeah, I'm into that.
Yeah, what if there's like a spiritual level to how you end up?
I think so. I think it's also like, how do you treat your body your whole life?
Yeah, but that's
what are you putting in it? You know what I mean?
That's like a part of.
Like if you're putting shit in your body for like 50 fucking years of it, and then you're like, oh no, I'm gonna become a health freak now and whatever. You can't undo the 50 years you did to your body.
It's a long time.
Yeah, it's a long time.
Maybe a couple of years, but
right. Like you can have a few bad years in a bunch, but yeah, if you have 50 in there, I think you're kind of fucked.
Yeah, no, at that point, that's like a lifetime. Like,
right.
Just go with it.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
I don't know. There's almost like there's no sort of what's the word I'm looking for? There's no sort of cookie cutter approach to it. Like you get people that are quote unquote healthy as fuck and then die early of a heart attack or something. You get people like George Burns. You remember who George Burns was? No. He was like I'm not sure if he's a comedian or what the fuck he was, but he smoked cigars and shit his whole life. Now, obviously, never worked out, never did anything. Probably ate like shit. And he lived till like he was like 93 or something, or 94 or something stupid like that. There's no real, who the fuck knows? Maybe it's just all mental. Maybe our ticker goes until we think it's supposed to stop.
That's probably an element. I mean, and then you get into the idea of like how much does your perception influence reality?
Yeah.
Right. You can argue that it's the entire thing, or you can argue that maybe it's a part of it. Who the hell really knows?
Or maybe we have an expiry date, and we're just gonna go to then no matter what. It's like
destiny.
Yeah.
It's like set before you're born.
Yeah.
At like a higher level, it's like this is how much time you have. But then it's like, do you have free will, or is it like your entire life is planned out?
I don't know.
Could be either way.
Maybe your consciousness, like we've talked about before, just goes in and out of different time zones, different timelines, essentially, and you're just living in and out. Maybe we never die. We only die in certain timelines, but we're alive in other ones. We're always alive. Imagine that. Can you imagine that? So like we die in this thing because we think we're supposed to die, or because
no, because death is a part of this experience, like the monkey, but there's a higher thing that, I mean, death might be a construct or something.
Like maybe
we are immortal beings, forever reincarnated to learn and to grow. I just quoted Graham Hancock.
That was Graham Hancock? Yeah. I don't know, man. All I know is my back hurts.
I did back day today.
My
back doesn't
I would
hurt.
just like my back to stop hurting. If we could do something about that.
Even hurt.
Like if we could just do something about that.
You can get stem cell therapy probably, and it would probably help out or something.
Let's get on that shit. Let's kill some fucking babies Let's get some stem cells out of
You don't even have to do that. You can get them from yourself. Now, it's painful, but you can get them from yourself.
I don't want pain. Fuck that. Heck? There's aborted babies that I could take stem cells from. Is what I'm trying. That's the point I'm trying to make here.
Well, maybe not. Maybe not for too much longer. I don't know. We'll see how the Roe v. Wade thing goes.
Oh, we're gonna listen. We're gonna start a whole new one. It'll be Alex stem cells for his back.
Alex stem cells for his back specifically.
Yeah.
Would you rather have a known time clock where you know when you expire, or would you not want to know? Would it inspire you more to do more with your life if you knew when you expire, like that movie In Time?
Yeah, I like that movie. That movie was cool. I don't know. Honestly, yeah. I don't think I'd want to know, because I think you'd fixate on it.
Would you?
Could you do anything?
Depends on who you are, I think.
Could you do anything that really kind of meant anything if you were fixated on that? I don't know.
If you're fixated on it, but would you necessarily be fixated on it? I mean, like...
Then what happens when you get down to, like, the last fucking hour? The last day? The last fucking year? Probably make it more
meaningful.
I don't know. And then you're like, oh my God, I didn't experience this. I didn't experience that. I didn't experience this.
A lot of people know when they're going to die.
They do know, you said?
Yeah, like at a certain point when it gets to, last couple months.
Or weeks, sure.
Depending on who, different people that like...
But at that point, you're old.
Like a Tibetan monk might know a couple of years out when his time comes, and you might figure it out in an hour before.
I don't usually think too much about kind of life and death like that.
Ours says, I feel this is a psychedelics question.
Oh, fucking right it is.
Psychedelics.
Don't get him on psychedelics. Art. Fuck. He's gonna go into a fucking 3-hour tangent. Look at him smile. He's got.
Well, they're fucking weird, man.
We have to talk about psychedelics, man.
They're fucking weird.
Psychedelics are bad. Okay. They're bad. Okay.
Bad. Okay. There's demons in there. Okay.
Like you scared Gizzo off.
He's still here.
No, Gizzo left. He said, "Fuck you, man."
I got 3 viewers. Probably.
Yeah.
Gizzo, have you done psychedelics ever in your life? I'm curious.
Gizzo, talk to me about psychedelics, please.
You ever smoked DMT? I've been wanting to go into the DMT world.
Listen, all right, I'll be your Huckleberry. I know you're dying to talk about it. All right.
I don't have anything to say about psychedelics that hasn't been said.
But you still want to talk about it. Like you still have this, like, you get this smile anytime somebody brings up the word.
I find them fascinating.
Oh, and sure there.
It's like, I think it ties some things together. It's fucking weird, man.
Well, weird drugs are weird. And they're cool. They're cool in a weird way. I don't know. The only time when I did those, equivalent of mushrooms with you, that was a fucking weird experience. Yeah. I could see where people would be like, ooh, I'd like to try that again. I don't know. For me, I'm like,
a lot of people, not most people, a lot of people do it, and then it's, I'm happy I did that, but I never want to do it again.
I'm almost in that group.
Yeah, well, you didn't do it. You didn't have a bad experience. Like,
no, I didn't have a bad experience.
A lot of people have bad experience, and they're like, yeah, I'm happy I went through that, but never again.
Well, it's the only reason why I'd be more inclined to say never again is because I didn't have the experience I thought I was going to have.
You need to do a lot more to have that experience that you thought you were going to have. I don't know what you thought you were going to have.
I thought I was just going to have this like enlightening experience. Like I was going to be enlightened to everything. But I felt like you know what I felt like happened to me? I felt like it kind of like, what's the word I'm looking for? It's almost like it destroyed everything for me. Like, it kind of just ruined me a little bit. Because I looked at things, and I went, what the fuck?
Changed your perspective.
It changed my perspective in a way where I kind of looked at stuff and went, what's the fucking point?
Yeah.
You know? And I feel like certain things hung with me. Like this idea that why bother doing things that we really don't want to do?
Why, though?
But you have responsibility. There are responsibilities to do things.
That's why.
I know, but there's a part of me that's like,
there's fulfillment that comes from it.
Well, yeah, it's true. There is.
Right? And you learn that when you become disciplined.
Yeah.
And so, like there's a lot of, there are answers to those questions in there, but there's also like, why do that thing that I don't want to do? I think there's a lot of things that we do that we don't want to do that we can not do, and maybe we shouldn't do.
I agree with that. But it's like, I think the older you get more of that because you realize you have less time. So you go, why am I spending the time, the limited time I have left, doing things that I don't want to do? I go through that a lot. Like a lot. Like daily. Where I'll be thinking, why the fuck am I doing this? What am I doing? I could be doing something different.
You gotta sort something out.
Yeah, I know, right? But there could be also a midlife crisis a little bit.
Maybe.
I'm going to buy myself a sports car.
You need a sports car. You need a Tesla.
That's not a sports fucking car. What are you talking about?
Get a Tesla Roadster. Or a... Yeah. No, the fucking...
the one that...
what do they call it?
The quad...
the Model
Plaid.
S. The Model S Plaid.
Yeah.
So the Model S, that's like more of the sporty one, and then the Plaid is like the... You get the super range. And
doesn't it go up to like 300 fucking kilometers an hour or something? Some stupid shit.
Fucking crazy like that,
yeah. It's not fair.
And you get a Ferrari for less money, probably.
Yeah, probably.
Not a Ferrari, Corvette. You can get a Corvette for like, 150?
I see Corvettes all the time. They're 100 grand.
You
can get a nice Corvette for like 100 grand. Yeah, maybe I'll buy a Corvette.
Yeah.
Turn into an asshole.
They do DMT on it. If you really want the spiritual enlightening experience, you need to go to do an ayahuasca retreat kind of thing, or just take a stupid amount. And even then, it's not guaranteed. That's one of the fallacies a lot of people have when it comes to psychedelics. Like, oh, I'm going to take this, and then I'm going to fucking answer all the questions. You didn't take all that much, for one, and it doesn't just happen like that.
I'm too afraid of chewing my fucking hand off or something.
Yeah,
this hand is bugging me.
Do that. Yeah, if you take too much, you'll wind up, worst case scenario, you'll wind up fucking, to everybody else, you'll be asleep on the couch while you're some weird interdimensional hyperspace time thing, doing something fucking somewhere with some machine elves or something. You'll be fucking gone. And then you'll come back and be like, what the fuck was that?
So you met the machine elves, right?
Kind of, yeah.
Are they cool? Are they fun?
I didn't talk to them. They told me some things. It was weird.
Yeah, but are they cool? Will they joke around with you and shit?
They're not like people. I needed to properly smoke DMT. I haven't gone in there properly. I need to see what that's about. I need to
we need to have a podcast where I'm completely sober.
Yeah.
And you're fucked on DMT.
Well, DMT is a 15-minute thing. I can't do a podcast. If you want, we can do it where, because I kind of want to do this. I kind of don't want to do it. I kind of want to do it. But if you want to do it, maybe we can do it. Before we go live one time, I'll smoke the DMT. I'll do it. I want you to be there and don't make any noise. Don't fucking be playing games and phone making noise. Just fucking be quiet for 15 minutes.
Don't fucking breathe even.
No,
don't do that annoying thing where you breathe.
Sit somewhere 5 feet away. And
get the fuck away from me.
Turn the sound off on your phone. I'll smoke DMT, do the trip, but have your phone ready. As soon as I'm back, and you'll know when I'm back because you'll see that I recognize you, and I'll because I'll be out of it, right? And then when I come back, I'll recognize you.
And then videotape what you
don't
said.
Videotape it.
Record you.
Audio record it, and ask me questions. But don't be annoying. What do you see? What do you see? What do you see? Just ask what do you see, and I'll start talking to you. I'll be like, oh well, this is what happened, or whatever, right? I'll start saying what the experience was, and just ask questions to fulfill that. Because one of the things that people report is that the memory of it fades. So you'll be saying these things, you'll have such a vivid memory as soon as you come out, and you'll be able to describe it. But then, as in the few minutes as you're sort of sobering up, it'll fade. And so I want that recorded, and I want someone there intelligent enough to ask the right questions to get me to say what I experienced so that I can listen back. I know you're not the smart person I want, but you're maybe the smart person I have.
I'm the only person who will tolerate you.
I know. So
Artie says he'd try it again. He was paranoid the first time, but he tried again. There, you and Artie can do it and have a conversation. I don't know. Well, you did some mushrooms, I think, or something.
You use psychedelics, or you what? Not did you do psychedelics? Did you mushrooms or DMT or?
It wouldn't have been DMT. Probably mushrooms.
Yeah.
Because in college, already in college was
mushrooms
like 20 plus years ago.
Mushrooms can make you paranoid.
Yeah, DMT wasn't really a thing.
If you do it in the wrong environment, a lot of people you have to respect it. You can't just go to a party and take.
Oh, mushrooms. It would have fucking the night when we did that shit. It would have fucked me up because you were looking like a demon.
I know you said that.
The way the light was on your face and you looked fucked. I couldn't even look straight in your face.
Maybe I'm possessed. I don't feel possessed.
What was crazy is how visually
altering it is.
Cute, everything. I could see things.
See it very clearly.
Fuck, it was crazy.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Art did mushrooms. How many mushrooms? I'm curious how many you took.
7.
I know. 7 mushrooms.
Big.
7 big mushrooms.
Big mushrooms.
That was like my second trip. I did 7 grams.
Oh, you fucking weirdo.
It was freaking awesome.
But you did 7 grams of actual mushrooms, so you ate the actual mushrooms?
We did 3 grams.
Yeah, he said mushrooms.
At first. And then at an hour in, we're like, fuck it, we'll just eat the rest.
What did it? How much did I do with you?
3 grams worth.
3 grams, yeah.
But of something that's a little bit more potent.
Yeah, well.
It hits faster.
Well, of course, because it's more bioavailable.
It's not. It's not the people being around you that make you feel paranoid so much as you don't really. If you don't understand how serious the psychedelic experience is, doing it in a casual environment surrounded by people that aren't very close to you and that you don't, it's just, you're not going to feel good.
I can imagine.
You're just not going to feel good.
I can imagine because I remember how I felt.
You're going to freak out. And
if it wasn't a chill sort of environment for me, I probably would have been like, whoa.
It has to be a chill environment, and there has to be people that you trust around you. Or if you shouldn't do it by yourself for your first time.
Yeah. You
shouldn't do it. But if you are experienced enough, I would say you should do it by yourself. Because that's like the ultimate trip through you.
What I didn't like about that shit is it just seemed to go on too long.
Really? Yeah. It was only 4 hours.
Yeah, I kind of wanted it to be over before it was over.
That's what DMT is good for.
Yeah, you said it was only 15 minutes or something?
Yeah, only a few minutes.
Yeah, but then how do those minutes feel like to you?
Well, it depends how many you do.
Yeah.
Or how much you take.
No, I'm saying, but how does that time pass for you? You know?
It'll feel like 50. If you just take a puff. So the farthest I got when trying to do DMT was 1 deep inhale. And it was, I described, it was like an intense mushroom trip all of a sudden. And that's why, I was not prepared for how that was hitting me, and that's why I couldn't go back for more puffs. But it was the time was just the same. It was just like a normal trip where it was just time went relatively the same, and it was just kind of like a 10-minute mushroom trip. Which basically all it was. But that's not what I want. I want to go to another dimension and live a lifetime and then come back and remember who I am, like the game Roy on Rick and Morty.
No.
You just go and you live a whole life and then you come back. You're like, I'm Morty. You're Rick. We're at Blitz and Chips.
There was a Star Trek episode like that where Picard. You never really watched Star Trek, did you?
Yeah. You asked me that earlier today.
Yeah. No. I just couldn't remember if you watched any of it. Next Generation.
No,
so, but you know who Picard is, right?
He's the main.
He was the captain.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so there's one where they were going through space and they run into this probe, this probe or whatever, and it fucking hits him with a beam, and in I think it's real time, 21 minutes, he lives a whole lifetime.
A whole lifetime.
He lives a whole lifetime through this probe with these people that went extinct, essentially. They died off from something, but they shared their essence through this probe, and he lived a whole life. And in 20 something, 21 minutes or something like that. And so, and like, he remembers his whole life.
Ari Shaffir.
How fucking cool is that?
Do you know who Ari Shaffir is?
Oh, yeah.
He did a salvia trip. Actually, this trip happened live on a podcast that you can find online somewhere. It was a long time ago, where he smoked salvia, and basically he was like something else. He doesn't know what he was, but he was like something else, living a life. He had like a family. He said it was like 7 years of like living this life. He said it was like under the ocean, but he was just living this life under the ocean with like a family and friends and a job and all this stuff. And then he came back.
If you fucking think about
like 7 years,
if you think about it and you try and use our little monkey brains to make some logic out of this, think about like your life, right?
Yeah.
Just think back and remember things, right? Out of all the memories that you have, like in the way that you have them, couldn't you probably fit that into a couple hours?
All my memories? Maybe.
You know what I mean? Like
it's a day minimum.
Yeah, well, like maximum a day, right?
Yeah, maximum. I mean,
yeah. So a whole day over 25 years.
Yeah, probably.
You know, like taking out of that maybe 4 years where you don't remember anything, basically. Like, you know, you start having. I have memories of crawling. How fucking weird is that? I told you about that before.
Yeah,
where I have
you
this.
Can't walk.
Well, no, I have these distinct memories of like this orangey carpet being like this close to my face. And I didn't know what it was, but it's like this fucking image. And my mom had told me back in the day, she was like, that was on this place called, like, where we lived on Birch Avenue. She goes, and you were probably 9 months. She goes, so you can't have a memory of that. I'm like, I sure as fuck do. Don't know why. I also have a memory of sitting in a fucking sink, in a double sink, looking at my sister in a double sink.
Just in a sink.
Yeah, my mom used to wash us. We were like 2 or maybe like 2 years old or something.
Yeah.
She'd wash us in the double sinks. And I remember sitting in it, looking at my sister. Like, I vividly remember looking over to her. How fucking weird is that, eh? But I have these couple little memories from like before a time where you should remember anything. But anyways, but my point is, like, if you take all the memories you have and you kind of like, if you were to like,
if you were able to compile them
in like a screenshot type thing, whatever, you'd probably get a few hours of tape, essentially. And that's a whole lifetime.
Yeah.
So who's to say that we're actually living in the amount of time that we think we're living in? You know what I mean? Time is only something that we're aware of in its entirety as it's happening. The further removed you get from...
There's only the here and the now. There is no future. There is no past.
That's what I'm saying. Like, the further you get from the most recent past, the less you remember of it. And the less time it seems like took place. Like, on a visceral level, in the way you actually feel it. So who's to say that we don't... we couldn't be living a lifetime in 20 minutes.
I mean, yeah, relative too. Like, I mean, if we are beings that, let's say, it's hard to conceptualize this because the way that I see it is like there's layers and there's levels and there's like I mentioned this before, like what if you and I are like a part of the same almost 5-dimensional being, right, at a different level, but like, you know, almost like fingers kind of poking out through this dimension,
right? And
like that's why like maybe like we will always find each other, because like we're part of the same thing. But like maybe if we've been doing this, like call it our souls, maybe the essence that we feel now, maybe if we've been doing it for millions of years, then yeah, relatively this is just a tiny little speck of that, right? And then there's gonna be more, and there's plenty in the past. And
Art makes a good point there when he says unless your brain operates at a higher capacity, he said, because they could be condensed to a small time frame. It's true. If you have a photographic memory or what's the other one? Photographic and Eidetic memory.
We just remember like everything.
You remember everything. So do you remember it in time?
Yeah, I've wondered that too.
Yeah. Fuck, how cool would that be to experience that for a minute? what somebody who has an eidetic memory, actually, how their world perception is. That's fucking crazy to me. Like the idea of that, it's because so much of our brain is unlocked. Because so much of our brain is unlocked, I bet people that are geniuses have more vivid and frequent memories. What happens when we say we use 20% of your brain? Do you recollect more? Well, okay, but that whole idea that we don't use our brain is a fallacy. Yeah. We do use it. We use all of our
different parts of our brain do different things.
Right.
So maybe at maybe at any point in time we're using what's the mean?
We
10%.
Yeah.
But that's because it's the function.
But maybe
I do think there's definitely more that you can get because when you take psychedelics, you do have this enhancement, right? You just things are clear, right? You see it in your vision. So there's definitely this cognitive enhancement going on.
For sure.
So it's like
that's unfucking deniable. That's undeniable. Like anybody who would say that that's something that's not actually happening is fucking stupid. Because for one, I've experienced it. I like my vision was crazy good. I couldn't believe
it's actually freaky.
It is freaky. It's freaky how fucking
because I never thought once until I noticed it on psychedelics because I noticed it before I knew that it was like a documented thing. I never once thought you could just like take a drug and fix your vision.
He says, and is there a percentage where you can transcend from the physical being? Yeah, you know what? I don't know.
I don't think it's a percent. I think you can just do that through meditation or a lot of drugs.
Yeah. I think it's
that's the thing about psychedelics is they're a shortcut to things that you can get to through other paths, and I think that's one of the reasons why that might actually be one of the reasons why it's so confusing and doesn't make a lot of sense is because like you just like poked your head into a place that you didn't. It's like you're in the first grade and then you poke your head into like the 8th grade classroom and like you just don't know what the fuck they're doing in there, but you have to progress. When you progress to that, it makes sense. So that's an interesting.
It's almost like our brains have a governor on them.
Oh yeah, they definitely.
You know what I mean?
Do.
Like, and then the psychedelic is like it removes that governor for just that time period. So then we all of a sudden, like that governor that governs our eyesight and governs our perception.
About intention. I've been doing an experiment on here.
Because I have a really weird recollection where it made me believe that much of our brains are unlocked. I had smoked a joint again in college. Should have waited till he finished this thought here to read it, but
I don't know. We've been talking about intent. So I've been there it is.
And I had this clarity and bombardment of ideas that I wish I noted. Never experienced some clarity. I'm sure there was more in that than pot. Yeah, you know what's funny? Because I had the same sort of thing happen to me the one time where this guy gave me a joint and fuck, I know it was laced with something. Because, oh man, I tripped. I was tripping balls. Never had that happen with a joint before. But I don't know what he definitely laced it with something. But yeah, if somebody put some DMT into your joint or something, I'm sure you'd have some kind of trippy fucking experience.
Or salvia.
Or salvia, yeah, or something, yeah.
It kind of looks like weed.
Or even like fucking bath salts or some shit. They're smoking that shit now too.
Yeah.
Fucking weird. People smoke anything for.
But we've been talking about like intent and how in the past we're talking about how there are like experiments and that intentions can influence reality or something else. So I've been doing a weird experiment where I've been tracking just the S&P 500 every day, whether it goes up or down, relative to a coin flip, and then at a certain point I added a dice roll in there too to see if there's like if it predicts by chance or greater than chance. Just fucking throw it on there and see. And what's interesting is that it predicts better than chance, or it has been over the coin I've done for 38 days as of today, and it got the day right 22 out of 38, so it was like 57%, which is it's better than 50-50.
Yeah, if it's better than 50-50.
The dice was 59%.
Although it's 38 is a small sample size.
It's too low a sample size so far to be running through, but it's like it is so far.
If that
better than chance.
Are you gonna keep doing it for?
Oh yeah, I'm just gonna keep doing it.
How long do you want to do?
I don't know.
10 years.
Just keep doing it. Yeah, maybe 10 years.
Imagine that.
But we'll see. At a certain point,
3,000.
Well, at a certain point, it will normalize to 50.
Yeah.
Or it might increase. It might increase as sort of intention kind of takes hold and it does what it's supposed to do. But the dice has less time, and the dice was at 59%. So yeah, that's just a weird little thing that I noticed.
Yeah, he said I was tripping in a good way where it felt like I was thinking at a higher level. Wasn't groggy or drugged, but clear minded. He says, yeah, you know what? I agree with the idea that drugs can kind of like, so they can break down barriers of our brain that we create.
Depends on the drug. Certain drugs have different, but like opioids are like, they just stop you from feeling pain.
Oh, exactly.
Or it's like,
but although I told you the one time I took
alcohol kind of like slows things down.
Well, I told you when I took a Percocet the one time, and all it did was just, it basically numbed my perception. It didn't do anything but that. Yeah. Like I sat there stoned, but I could feel the pain, but I just couldn't really react to it. If that makes any sense. Like the pain was still all there, but I was like, my brain just didn't know how to react to it.
Right.
It was so fucking weird. And I was like, I'm sitting there going like, all I feel is really stoned and still in pain. So what the fuck is the point of this?
When I had Percocets, it just kind of felt like I was being absorbed into like a cloud of hugs.
Oh yeah. Did you take it when you were in pain, or did you just take it?
Yeah, I had my wisdom teeth taken out. I was in a lot of pain.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't take shit. When I had my wisdom teeth taken out, I told you I had all four. I didn't take shit.
It's different. It's different for various people. Like, I don't know what you look like. My face looked like a football. Yeah. It literally like my fist added like down over here.
Yeah. It was like, buddy, I'll tell you, that was probably the worst, the most violent experience I've been in my life.
Yeah. The wisdom teeth thing.
Buddy, it was fucking brutal. And they didn't give me any. I didn't get gas or anything.
Oh, they knocked me right the
They gave me oxygen.
I woke up loopy as fuck.
Yeah. They gave me oxygen and they froze me, and they didn't even freeze me enough on this side. So when she was breaking that fucking tooth, I could feel it. I was jumping, and she was like, oh shit. And then she had to start putting, so when she started putting the freezing back in, I'm like jumping from that too. She's like, you can feel all that? I'm like, fucking right, I can.
Yeah.
She's like, ooh. So she was like jacking me up as much as she could. And then she wasn't waiting for it to take.
I've had teeth pulled when I was a kid, like sometimes you have to have them pulled, and like you feel the like cracking.
Oh sure, yeah, that's
weird.
That's violent too.
It's not painful, but like it's weird.
It's fucking right. Well, these were crazy because they were fucking really impacted. They're really in there, right? And she said, she goes, because you're in your 40s, and she's like, you've had your teeth in there for 25 plus years or whatever the fuck. She goes, they're gonna be like, there's a lot of bone. She did the X-rays, and she's like, they're fucking in there. She goes, so this is going to be pretty intense. And I thought they were giving me gas, but they gave me oxygen. Yeah. No gas.
That's fucked.
Yeah, I was like, I'm waiting for something to happen. I'm waiting for this shit to kick in. Nope. Thanks. Like it was pretty shitty. All right. It's probably a good place to end on wisdom teeth being pulled out of your fucking head.
Yeah, I think we've exhausted
our conversation. We talked about what you like to talk about.
Yeah.
I know you still want to
do that. We should do a DMT one at some point.
I know you keep saying that, and then I know that'll make you happy. We should have done it for your birthday.
Well, no, I mean we should do one where you
do it, and
then we talk about what that experience was like. Do like a trip report.
Maybe we'll get you and Art to do it, and then I'll just
if Art
videotape.
Wants to do it, you can.
And then I'll videotape the two of you.
Don't videotape. Just record the audio.
Just videotape from over there. You won't even know I'm videotaping.
Just record the audio. I'll know you're videotaping.
You won't. You'll never know.
No, I'm not doing DMT around you.
I'm not doing it around you. All right. Well, thanks, guys, thanks, Artie and Gizzo, for commenting and giving us something to feed off.
Hanging out
with us.
Nice Friday night.
On a long weekend Friday night.
That's true.
Should we do the outro music?